Today, we're taking a spin on a true classic that's often overlooked, the Honda CB200. We'll see what this compact 1970s street bike can still do today, where it really shines, and what you should absolutely check before buying one. At first glance, the CB200 looks like a small CB, but when it's been properly maintained, it rides with a surprising sense of maturity. And here's the interesting part. Many versions came with twin carburetors and a 5-speed gearbox, which makes it far more lively than you'd expect from just under 200cc. And in the end, we'll give you a clear verdict: who the CB200 is a great fit for, and who should probably look elsewhere. Gern, mir fehlt nur der eigentliche Text von Szene 2. In deiner Nachricht steht nach Original nur: Bitte poste den deutschen Voice-Over-Text oder lade ihn als Dateibild hoch. Dann übersetze ich ihn idiomatisch, natürlich und ansprechend ins Englische. It was developed as a more upmarket alternative to the CB175, borrowing much of what made Honda's larger CB models so popular: a smooth-running twin, everyday-friendly controls, and a level of build quality that set the benchmark at the time. At its heart was an air-cooled parallel twin with a single overhead cam and 2 valves per cylinder, fed by twin Keihin carburetors, something far from a given in this class. Depending on the market, the CB200 even came with a 12-volt electrical system, making it more modern than many of its rivals. Today, it represents the bridge from lightweight practical twins to the decade-defining CB mindset. Gern? Mir fehlt nur der eigentliche Text von Szene 4. Bitte füge den deutschen Voice-Over-Text hier ein oder lade ihn hoch, dann übersetze ich ihn idiomatisch, natürlich und ansprechend ins Englische. A hallmark feature is the pair of Keihin carburetors, which give the engine a lively, rev-happy character. In terms of output, many bikes make around 17 horsepower at about 9,000 RPM, enough to keep up smoothly with traffic and deliver a solid pull as long as you keep it on the boil. Shifting is handled by a 5-speed gearbox, with classic chain final drive. The chassis stays typically Honda and reassuringly conservative: a telescopic fork up front, twin rear shocks, and 18-inch spoked wheels. Depending on model year and market, the front brake was either a disc or a drum, with a drum at the rear in most cases. Gern, mir fehlt nur der eigentliche Text von Szene 6. Bitte füge den deutschen Voice-Over-Text hier ein oder lade ihn als Datei hoch. Und sag mir kurz: 1. Gewünschter Ton, eher werblich, neutral, emotional, humorvoll. 2. Zielpublikum, UK oder US-Englisch, Du- oder Sie-Ansprache im Original, falls relevant. Dann liefere ich dir eine idiomatische, natürliche und ansprechende Übersetzung. The circular gauges, speedometer, and tach feel especially spot on, giving the cockpit that unmistakable Japanese 70s vibe. The chassis is slim, the engine sits neatly within the tubular frame, and you notice it every day. The bike never feels bulky. Ergonomically, it suits a lot of riders, thanks to a relatively low seat height, a relaxed knee angle, and handlebars that make slow-speed maneuvering easy. With its stock setup of 18-inch spoked wheels and a fairly flat seat, it's not aiming for outright sportness, but for simple, confidence-inspiring control, ideal even for beginners easing their way into classic bikes. Bitte sende mir den deutschen Voice-Over-Text für Szene 8, der Inhalt nach den 3 Strichen. Dann übersetze ich ihn idiomatisch, natürlich und ansprechend ins Englische. The parallel twin responds eagerly as long as you keep it on the boil. That's exactly what the 5-speed gearbox and twin carburetors are there for. On the comfort side, the suspension is tuned on the soft side. The telescopic fork and twin shocks soak up rough roads well, but at a brisk pace they don't feel especially taut. Out on country roads, the CB200 is happiest between 80 and 95 kilometers per hour. Above that, it gets more strained and noticeably louder. Braking depends on the version. With a front disc, it's perfectly fine. With a drum, you'll want to plan a bit more carefully. Even so, as a classic commuter, it's a very convincing package. Gern, mir fehlt nur der eigentliche Text. Bitte poste den deutschen Voice-Over-Text für Szene 10, dann übersetze ich ihn idiomatisch, natürlich und ansprechend ins Englische.